Why, hello everybody, it is Kyle here with Unboxed Autos, and today we are here in Northern Virginia on this very cold, very rainy day. It's been many days of ice and snow and rain here in February, but thankfully we've had a good car to face all of that with, and that is the 2021 Audi SQ8. Now, this stands at the top of the Audi range, and it is definitely gotten its share of attention the past few years. Now, whether that be for its performance capabilities or its very unique styling, it's definitely been in the news a lot. Now, this is a very unique vehicle in the way that it's very sporty for an SUV when how it drives. Obviously here, the S model, again, which is what we're looking at, has the V8 under the hood. A 4-liter V8 makes 500 horsepower, definitely more than this car needs, but definitely makes it a lot of fun to drive. We also have, of course, a few different elements here within the body panels. We have a blacked out grille. We have 22-inch V-spoke wheels on this particular model. They look really neat, as well as larger brake calipers, S Sport brake calipers here, as well as you guys can see there, the Sport right down there. We also have the very legendary Audi daytime LED running light signature. I mean, the lighting on this vehicle, just how they've done it, looks absolutely stunning, especially when we get around to the back here. Now, another thing that I will show you is what's really neat about the design of this vehicle is that it's pillarless. The doors are pillarless, right? So that looks really neat. I think, the Q8 here is sort of how the A7 was when it first came out, and just being a very uniquely styled vehicle. Now, the rear, check out the rear of this car, guys. It looks absolutely phenomenal. We have the quad tip exhaust. It is, of course, again, we have the S badging as it is an SQ8. Just look at this beautiful lighting here. Wraps all the way around the back here and the sides. It's just absolutely phenomenal. What's also really great is just when we take a look here at the side profile, it's very elegant car. I mean, it is just unlike really anything else out there on the road. The only thing that really is similar to this guy right here would be the BMW X6, and then of course Mercedes-Benz does make the, I believe it's the GLE 63 AMG SUV with sort of the sport back look as well. They're all sort of, within their own right, is very unique. I'd say that this one, though, having driven all of them, this is definitely among more of the sportier, more modern, elegant vehicles within that class. Now, that also has to do, obviously, with what's going on here on the interior, which we're going to go ahead here now and check out. We have the lights on for you guys. So, first things first, let's start her up. We have the signature S start button. As you guys can see here, it is red around the outskirts there. Lets you guys know that you are starting up an S model. So just amongst, sort of first impressions, very clean cabin here, very modern. Love the lines. We have, of course, the S seats here, very comfortable. We have side bolster controls here, which are controlled from one of the main screens here. So you can press the seat right there. Pops up here. You can adjust the legs there, and then also the side bolstering for both your back and your legs. So that's great. Very nicely tied in there to the system. Now, as you guys can see here, there's a fair amount of things going on here. What I really like about this system is how they've used all of the space, right? So everything makes sense. It's very simple to use. There aren't a ton of menus, and nothing's very confusing whatsoever. It's a very easy system to get used to. For instance, right here, we can press that That brings up some basic functions here, whether it be with the heated steering wheel or the rear climate settings right there. There's also a customizable button on the steering wheel, which I've made, to be the heated steering wheel button on off. We have heated seats here with 3 different levels. We also have cooled seats as well with 3 different levels. We have auto climate control, obviously dual zone here, actually 4-zone climate control if we count the rear passengers as well. If we want, we can add some some quick points here that we can just quickly tap into right for the nav system. Can easily go there very quickly. We have, if we want to, can adjust the fan speed manually as well right there. We have the drive mode button, they call it drive select. So basically right here it pops up here. We can control different modes here. Dynamic mode lowers our air suspension, as you guys can see here, tunes up the exhaust, puts us into sport dynamic mode. Really sounds great too. I mean, this car it's ready to go. Really nice sounding vehicle. So pop her back here into auto mode, or dynamic actually. But also individual is great because you guys can choose from different drive settings, right? So you have balanced or sport, you have suspension, 3 different settings for that, 3 different settings for the steering. The engine sound present. I like to keep it in present mode. Lets people know you're coming. And also comfort mode's really a win-win. This car, what's really cool is how well this car pulls off the sport side of it, but also the comfort side of it as well. So that's really fantastic. Now, we have quick access media buttons here. We can go to the satellite radio very easily. We can go to our different multimedia, our phone settings, or our nav here, which is great. The system's extremely responsive. Basically, just think of an iPad or any type of high-end smartphone, and that's how quick this system is able to respond to your commands. So hitting back there in the home button, we have a bunch of different vehicle settings here. We can again go back to that drive select there through that menu. We have different vehicle data settings here. It can show us if you're, rarely would we do any type of off-roading, but if you do, this can be helpful for that. We have really nice interior lighting, right? So we can go through here and customize that, or they have some preset themes that you can go through as well. Individual is neat. You can go here, change the different service colors that you want. You can go into the different lines as well, the different colors. You can select all of those through this menu right here. Plenty of different options, obviously. So that is great. The Quattro here actually lights up underneath as well. It looks really cool in the evening. But as of lately, I've been liking the maritime theme, so we'll keep it with that one right there. We have availability of 3 different selections here for driver assistance. Basically, obviously, maximum is pretty self-explanatory. It puts all of these systems into use. So we have our emergency assist, we have our exit warning, right? So if we're in a city, let's say, and someone's riding a bicycle along the side of the vehicle, you don't notice that the mirror will actually flash at you, as in the blind spot detection there, and saying, hey, watch out, there's someone coming up on your side. Very helpful. Can definitely prevent a majorly bad accident. So that's great. Coming down here again, we have a few simple settings. We have some sound settings here, which are great here from the Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. It's really fantastic. It has 3D capabilities. We have an optional subwoofer here where we can adjust that. The subwoofer itself is not optional, but the way that we can control it here is an optional separate from the bass itself, so that's great. We can focus on all the different seats, adjust the surround sound level, as well as the 3D effect. So that's phenomenal, especially if you have a high-end streaming service like Tidal. You have it in the highest bitrate possible, then you're going to get a very, very good sound experience from this audio system. We can grab the weather as well here. We are tacked into LTE internet, So depending on your location, you can grab that if you just want to check that real quick. We have some latest news headlines and things of that nature. Why you'd want it here versus your smartphone, I don't know, but BMW does that, Mercedes-Benz also does that. So just sort of what everybody's doing these days, so they do have that capability. But again, as far as the user interface, everything's very simple and clean. But I think the best thing to talk about here of the system is just how fast it responds and easy it is to use. It's really a breeze. Coming down here, we have our camera system. So we have a really neat 3D view camera system right here. So again, BMW does this, now Audi does it as well. So we can, park in those tough parking spots with ease, and it's really not a problem whatsoever. Then, we have a few preset views here as well, or we can just move it with our finger. Going back to it here, though, we also have, more of your standard view. We can just do a front view. We can do an overhead bird's eye view, which we're already getting over there. We can get a backup view. We can get a different angle of that. We can view the front wheels and the rear wheels as well. So definitely a great suite of camera systems to ensure that you guys, don't scrape up those beautiful V-spoke 22-inch wheels. This button right here, this brings us to our driver assistance features, and we can go through, do individual, basic, or maximum. I love this. Always have loved these shifters here. I feel like I'm in Star Trek, and I'm, getting ready to put the ship into hyper mode and to drive. And this really does give you that feeling here. As you can see here as well, we have even a nice little design element down there. We have an LED backlit park button, and then here is what we use, to put it into our various drive modes. So there's drive. Tap it again to put it into sport mode for the transmission right here. We can do that. It also ramps us up to 1,000 RPMs when we go into that sport mode. Also, manual shifting capabilities from here as well. We also have the paddle shifters here on the steering wheel. Now, coming along here to the side, we have this beautiful Alcantara lined side panel. We have our carbon fiber trim up here, and a pretty soft panel up here as well. And this is also combined down here with the same color here where we rest our arms. Now, for the mirror settings, we do have the auto defrost, and we also can fold them in for those tight parking spots. All four windows are auto up, auto down, as in you can press down once, one touch. So we also have two settings here for the driver seat here, so we can save the settings and mirror settings. We have the headlight controls here. We also have the front all-weather light. So basically that's a little extra bright light, so if we're driving in fog or inclement weather, we can activate those as well to help us and help other people see us. The stitching here on the upper dash is wonderful. It's very high quality all throughout the entire piece here. Then coming down here, we have these really nifty air vents right here, all done in this nice metal, very smooth action here, very high quality within those air vents. So as you guys can see, again, we're going for that very modern yet luxurious feeling, and they've definitely pulled it off all throughout with carbon fiber trim as well as that silver aluminum trim as well. And obviously we do have some piano black finish tied in there as well here for the dashboard. The steering wheel, love the steering wheel, absolutely love it. It is the S steering wheel. When we also have these special perforations here on the sides. This steering wheel is so comfortable to hold on to. It's a great size, and yeah, it's not too thick. Sometimes the steering wheels are too thick. This is just the perfect balance between size and thickness for a sports steering wheel, and the perforations do give it a really cool feeling. Now, coming here again, Audi is just really killing it here, as always, within the infotainment system. So right here, we have our standard systems, right? We can view the phone, we can, view what's going on with our Bluetooth connected device. We can throw the map up there, But if we can hit view here, we can also get an entire map here. The whole screen turns into a map, satellite view as we have it set up that way. So that's really nifty. We also can, let's say we want to view the long-term memory. We don't like that view, we can switch to a more standard view. Personally love this particular view. Obviously gets our tachometer front and center, which is how I like it, especially in a sportier vehicle like the SQ8. But there's obviously different views and things to choose from, which is always nice to have. Moving down here to the center again, very easy to grab onto in many different areas, very comfortable for long trips, and it is done, of course, in a nice aluminum here with accent stitching, which is obviously a very nice touch here again from this wheel. Just can't get over it, actually. Love this one. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the the front of the vehicle goes. We're going to go ahead here and step into the rear seat in just a moment. But if you guys ever have any questions, obviously always let me know. I'm always happy to answer them for you. So now we're going to go ahead and get in the rear seat. Lots of space back here, which is great. You don't feel like a child when you're sitting in the back of the Q8. Plenty of space, and yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, I'm 5'10". I have so much knee room. I could practically lay down back here. It's very, very easy. Now, also, it's neat that we have our rear seat controls, as I was saying earlier, 4-zone climate control, which is really nice. You can say, many different settings there within that. And then, of course, your standard auto mode as well. Yeah, the rear passengers get the same comfortable quilted leather seating that the front passengers get. And it's just really one beautiful vehicle. You really do feel like you're living in the future in the SQ8. Obviously the Q8 here as a whole is a really great looking vehicle, especially with its roof line, how it just kind of drops down. Really neat. And then once again, we have that quad tipped exhaust. Love it. Sounds phenomenal. There's really nothing to complain about when you stick a 4-liter turbocharged V8 engine under the hood of a really sporty dynamic SUV. Obviously again we have the air suspension as well as 4-wheel steering to help us keep it on track and keep for those tight turns. Obviously being the S model, we also are able to have stiffer dampening in this vehicle. It's more rigid, right? So it's better for those sporty drives. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed our overview here of the 2021 Audi SQ8. Feel free to reach out with any comments or questions. Thanks so much.